Hey, how you doing today? I am Prophetess Tequila Coleman, best-selling author, God-ordained marriage coach, and founder of God-ordainedmarriage.com. I wanted to jump on here real quick and give you this word from the Lord. Prodigals are receiving the full prophecy from God concerning the God ordained love story. If you are, trying to figure out, what is going on, why is it taking God so long? This is going to bring you a lot of clarity. Okay. So come on in, come on in. Let me know if this is your first time catching me live. If it is, say hi. Say hi. Let me go ahead and welcome you to our God ordained live. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Everyone else, make sure you are plugged in. You are also subscribed to the channel. Make sure you click that bell button so that you can receive notifications of when I am going live. Okay. Hey there, everyone. Um, Ms. Brown, Handpick, Shavella, thank you all for joining. Okay. Now, before we get started, let me just say this. Okay. So, as you already know, our God ordained, not God ordained. I'm so used to saying God ordained. Our Wife Academy. It is kicking off the end of this month. Okay, and let me tell you, the Lord has added on two more classes. Okay, that I'm going to be teaching inside of our Wife Academy. So He added on the class on submission. Right. So I was trying to avoid this, but he was like, "No, ma'am, you're going to teach this." And he gave me a teaching on submission. I never heard submission taught this way, but that's God. But you're going to learn the order of submission and how to submit to your husband as to the Lord. And let me just say this, submission goes both ways, okay? Wives submit to the husband submit to the wives, okay? But he added on submission, and he also added on reconciliation, how to minister reconciliation to your spouse, okay? So God has been speaking to me on preparing you all inside the Wife Academy, preparing you for reconciliation with the spouse. Okay. So if you have no clue how to navigate the reconciliation stage, head over to godordainedmarriages.com/wife. Sign up so that you can get this information. Okay. I will leave the links in the description area um, where you can sign up to the program. But yes, the Lord has added on both classes, and it's more to come. I just haven't added it to the website yet. I haven't added it to the website yet. Okay, so again, let's talk about prodigals are receiving a full prophecy from God. um the Lord, he just amazes me because he showed me something. And we hear this verse that I'm going to read. We hear this, being spoken and prophesied all the time, but he showed me a different way of looking at this thing. So I want you to go ahead, open up your Bible, and I want you to go to First Corinthians chapter 13. First Corinthians chapter 13. Thank you, Tyra, for the super sticker. Hey there, everyone. Miss Jones, Destiny, Princess, Tyra, thank you all for joining. So go to First Corinthians chapter 13, and we're going to read verse 9 and 10. Now I'm reading out of the NIV Bible. Okay. So listen. It say in First Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9, it say, "For we know in part and we prophesy in part." I know y'all have heard this. "For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes," I need you to type completeness in the chat. Type completeness in the chat. Type completeness in the chat. It say, "For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappear." Now I'm going to try to go slow with this word, okay? Because I need you to get all of this revelation that the Lord download to me, okay? Okay, thank you all for typing completeness, okay? Because that's what I need y'all to focus on, okay? Because many of you like, "God, I'm praying, I don't see anything changing or moving in this love story. You're like, God, what is going on? You know, I don't see it. Where's the testimonies at, God? Y'all got all these questions and you missing something. And this is what you're missing. I'm going to read this again. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. Let's break this down. Okay. So this scripture is talking about a prophecy. Okay. Now I'm going to start with you. Just like in the beginning, when God revealed to you, you have a God ordained marriage. I don't know exactly how God revealed this to you. But he prophesied to you, right? He could have started off by saying that's your husband or that's your wife, right? And you're like, but they with this person. But you got all this but, right? So he gave you the prophecy, but it was in part. He didn't give you all the steps. Okay, I hope you follow me. He didn't give you all of the steps. He didn't tell you that you're going to be going through a divine separation. He didn't tell you, that you're going to be hit with rejection and betrayal and abandonment, all this stuff. He didn't tell you about the witchcraft that's going to come your way, right? He just said that's your husband, that's your wife. Or maybe he said, I'm going to restore your marriage for my standards. Or maybe he said, I got a marriage promise for you. Maybe you never even met the person, right? But God is letting you know, I'm going to join you and this person together in marriage, right? But again, so he gave you part of the prophecy, okay? Now, let's go back to 1 Corinthians 13 because God is very strategic. Listen to this. Look, so I'm going to start back at verse 9, but we're going to continue to read into verse 11. It's saying verse 9, for we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. I'm going to come back to that. Listen to this in verse 11. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. This is now speaking to maturity. When God first spoke the prophecy to you, he gave you part of it. He didn't tell you all the steps. So that's telling me when we first received the prophecy that is your husband, that is your wife, or God is promising you a marriage promise, or he's promising you marriage restoration. At that moment, we all were in an immature stage. We were immature. So that's why we didn't receive the whole prophecy. Okay. I'm talking about us, but this is also going on with prodigals. Okay. I'm breaking this down, talking to us because so that you can fully understand this word. Okay. So when God revealed that prophecy to you, he revealed part of the prophecy. He didn't give you the whole thing. Okay. Some of y'all, some of y'all have told me in sessions like Tequila, if I would have known I had to go through all of this, if I would have known this is what it takes, to have a God ordained marriage, I don't know. I don't know. Right. And so God revealed that prophecy to you, but you were still immature. You were still immature. This is why we have to go through the divine separation. This is why, we got to wait. This is why we got to become. This is why, God is giving you instruction and telling you do this, do that. He's maturing you in this process. God is maturing the prodigals in this process too. Okay. So let's go back. It say, for we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, this is what we waiting on. We waiting on the prophecy to be made complete, not just in your life, but also in the prodigal's life. And the revelation God gave me, okay, going to my 9 stages the God ordained believing spouses would go through. Okay, that book can be found over on Amazon. When you get to the level of completion, which means maturity, your prodigal spouse, husband or wife, God is also bringing them to this level of maturity as well. So both will arrive at the same stage of maturity should be around the same time. Okay. All right. So a maturity will take place, okay, in both spouses. All right. um but this is what we're waiting on. This is what you're waiting on. This is why, the person may call you their wife, but yet they entertaining counterfeit. That's because they don't have the full prophecy. They still see, a man can see, He can look at you and be like, that's wifey right there. But he void. He's missing some revelation about his own life, about himself. He might still, he might see another wifey. He might be like, wait a minute, this over here is wifey too. Hold up. Right? So God got to come in and reveal some things to this person. This is the prophecy. God got to come in and confirm some things. God got to come in and say, yes, it looked good to you, but that ain't for you. This one right here, this is God ordained. God got to come in and get his man confirmations, assurance, okay, before he make that final decision. Same thing with you, okay. We're not guilty of this. I mean, we're not innocent of this. God tell us, that's your husband. We like, wait a minute. You like, you sure? God come in, he give us some confirmation. He help us to understand why he brought us together, you know, etc., etc. Okay. So let's get to this. So it say, for we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappear. Now, this is so true. Okay. Let me go ahead. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I got a bad habit. I take down a lot of notes, but when I go live, I don't use my notes. That's the crazy part. Let me go ahead and read from my notes. So God is bringing prodigals to the end of themselves. You have heard me say that, right? You have heard me say in the past, God is bringing prodigals to the end of themselves, but God is also revealing the complete prophecy to prodigals. And when he revealed this complete prophecy to the prodigal, it's also bringing them into a level of maturity. A growing up is taking place. So you may not see this happening. This maturity is happening in the mind, it's happening in their thoughts. All of that double mindedness goes away. See, we can't see that. That's why you got to get out that kitchen. We can't see that part. We can't see how God is revealing this prophecy to our person. Okay, and you got to be aware of the trick of the enemy, because the trick of the enemy would love to guide you to that kitchen. Be like, look, the trick of the enemy will guide you to these relationship videos and have you watching videos that say, yeah, if the man liked you, if he really liked you or loved you, he'll pursue you. And now you like, wait a minute, my person not pursuing me. They must don't like me. That's the trick of the enemy. Okay. Because they just speaking of physical. They're not even these relationship videos is void of the spiritual aspect. Okay, so you got to be mindful of the tricks of the enemy. Okay, but just like how I say God is bringing prodigals to the end of themselves, God is also revealing the complete prophecy to prodigals to bring them into a level of maturity. Okay, complete means having all the necessary or appropriate parts. You better hear this in the spirit. Complete means finish making or doing. Didn't I tell y'all? I said we got to become. We got to do the work. I said one thing we know for sure is that God is growing up the prodigals. He's making them do work, whether we see it or not. Okay. So I need y'all to understand our work is going to be different from the prodigal. Put it like that. Okay. But their work is being done in them. So we can't stay the same. Okay. We can't stay the same. We must become. Complete means having all the necessary or appropriate parts. So God is going to make sure your spouse, when they return, that they have all the necessary appropriate parts to be able to handle you with care, to be able, okay, to, really do life with you. You don't gotta worry, that, oh well, I wonder if they're going to be able to do this or do that. Yes, yes. Okay. God is making sure they have it. Complete means make something whole or perfect. Now, no one's perfect, only Jesus. He's the only one who's perfect. Okay. So keep in mind when God reconciled you back with your prodigal, you're dealing with a human being. Okay. They're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. Okay. So, that's what we got to apply grace. That's what we apply forgiveness, understanding, compassion. Okay. So God is he's bringing prodigals into this completion. Okay, and this completion is coming about by God revealing the full prophecy to the prodigal. Now, you can't speed up, okay, when God reveal what to your person. You have to go through this process as well. Okay, so I should have said this at the beginning. Um, this word would be for this word, like the prodigals are receiving the full prophecy. Some are receiving it now, okay, and then others you're gonna have to wait until your until that time come. Okay. Now, when we talk about the full prophecy, I don't know that full prophecy. So don't ask me. Okay. You gotta wait till God revealed that to you. Because we all have different prophecy. We all know God joining us into a God ordained marriage promise, right? For the standards. We know that God has promised you marriage restoration, but our prophecies are different. Okay. Are you following me? Let me know if you're following me. Okay. And we got to wait on God to reveal the full prophecy concerning your life, concerning your love story. Okay. So don't try to rush what I'm saying here. Okay. Because a lot of you like to do that. You be like, with my stages, I'm in stage 8. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. You got to go through the process. Okay. So let me see. And then here's the thing, prophecy. Let's talk about a prophecy. The prophecy that God is revealing to prodigal. I'm just going to give you some examples so you know, um so you just have an idea. So some of these prophecies that are being revealed to prodigals, now I'm saying prodigal, but this is also being revealed to you as well, because many of you, when God called you to this stance, you probably were still in this world. You probably never had a personal encounter with God, so God is revealing things to you as well. Okay, but some of these prophecies that God has to reveal to the prodigal is revelation of their purpose. Again, he's God revealing revelation of your purpose to you as well. Okay. So a revelation of purpose, revelation or confirmation of who you are to the person, right? Same thing applies to you. God told you that's your husband, that's your future wife, right? But some of you are doubting it. Some of you are like, or you might be intimidated by it. So God got to give you some confirmation. God has to mature you and help, remove those insecurities, right? So that you could come into agreement with what he is prophesying over your life. Okay, prophecy can be um, a revelation of the prodigal living apart from God, where they get the revelation. If I'm not walking with God wholeheartedly, my life is in danger, right? It's just some things God has to reveal to this person. You need me. This is what God is basically telling the person, his son or daughter. You need me, son. You need me, daughter. You can't live in this world without me, your heavenly Father. I am your life. I am the life. You see, same thing God is revealing to you. God is also, when we talk about the prophecy that is being revealed to prodigals, it's a revelation of God. Some of them don't, they never met God, they never known God, they never encountered God, they never experienced God, right? And so God has to encounter this person, let them know I'm real. I'm your heavenly Father, and I can also act like a mother at times, very nurturing and comforting, and teach you some things you didn't know about yourself, right? I'm your protector, I'm your provider, right? God is encountering this person, letting them know, I know that way, that route seemed right, but that's going to lead to destruction. Don't go that way. Follow my way, right? And sometimes this is the truth. Sometimes God would allow the prodigal to have, or take their route, their way, their free will, only so that they can get a revelation. Okay, no. I say this all the time. When I was a prodigal, I didn't know I was a prodigal, but when I was a prodigal and I found myself, single mom with 3 children, 3 baby daddies, I was like, Tequila, you don't know how to live your life. I told that to me. I said, you don't know how to live your life, so you going in time out. You see, that situation let me know you need God, because clearly I'm not getting this right. Okay. And I told myself it's not going to be a baby daddy 4. It ain't going to be none of this. I said, you're going in time out and you're going to learn how to live your life according to God. Okay. And so some of us need that revelation from the Lord. Like, okay, I keep choosing this path, but it keep leading me down this road. Maybe I don't know how to make the right decision. Maybe I need to, try God. And that's what they're getting. That's the revelation they're getting. Okay. Other prophecy, another revelation that the Lord is revealing to prodigals and also you all is that following worthless idols is exactly that, worthless. They can't save you. We can make people out to be an idol in our life. We can take people advice before we take God's advice. So God is like, okay, I'm gonna give you that revelation that when you cling to these worthless idols, it's exactly that. They worthless. They can't save you. They don't know, okay, the end results of your life, you know. So when you hear me say God is revealing the prophecy, the full prophecy to prodigals, I'm just giving you a glimpse of some of the revelation that they are getting. Okay. And again, we can't rush this process. You have to get out of the picture. You got to get out of the kitchen so that this person can get their revelation on their own. Because if you in the picture and you helping them to receive revelation, they're going to give you credit. Or they can come back around later on and say, you manipulated me into this marriage. So get out of the kitchen. Let this person have a one-on-one time with God so that they can't blame you later if things don't work out. And things will work out. Okay, let me just say that. Things will work out if you're going through this God ordained stance the right way and you are obedient and submitted to God and allowing God to purge what need to be purged out of you, to transform you and do this new thing. Things will work out. Okay. Now, Joseph, over in the book of Genesis, he was 17 when God revealed part of the prophecy to him. Joseph had two dreams from God. And in one of the dreams, God showed him the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars were bowing down to him. That's all he saw. And for many of you, God gave you a dream, and whatever it was that the Lord showed you. He showed it was just it wasn't the full prophecy, it was half. It was part. I'll say that. It was part of the prophecy. Okay. Now, from Genesis chapter 37 all the way through Genesis 45, Joseph, he had no idea what he were going through, being betrayed by his brothers, being his character coming up under character assassination from that woman, being thrown in prison. He had no idea that all of these things were happening to him because of the prophecy, because of the dream God showed him. But he got the revelation, and I think it's in Genesis 45, where he was face to face with his brothers. And this is what he said. He said, do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. The prophecy was made complete to Joseph in that moment, but it was also made complete to his brothers, because I'm sure Joseph's brothers walked around with shame and guilt and regret. I'm sure they walked around with that heaviness, over them of what they, how they responded to their brother. But Joseph, because he remembered the dream in that moment and he had that revelation. Oh, this why God allowed them to do this to me. This why I had to go through all of these things. Because God was sending me ahead of my family so that God can use me, talking about Joseph, to be the one to save them. I want you to type in the chat, God is sending me ahead. God is sending me ahead. God is sending me ahead. Many of you are upset at how the prodigal has responded to you. You upset and hurt over that betrayal, the rejection, the abandonment, the hate that is being dished, towards you, the warfare that's coming your way, you know. But what you're failing to realize is that God is sending you ahead. He's sending you ahead to get in a certain position. He needs you to have certain revelation. Because when God say, now it's time, When God revealed this full prophecy to you, it's going to all make sense. You're going to be like, okay, now it makes sense. Now I know why. You're going to look at that betrayal differently. You're going to look at the rejection differently. Okay. When God sent, He's sending you ahead. And when He began to reveal that full prophecy to you, you're going to have a different perspective, which is going to change your heart towards your person. It's going to soften your heart. You're going to now have compassion. It's going to move you to now forgiving this person who once betrayed you. You're going to understand it. Like God was sending me ahead. God was getting me in this position so that I can do X, Y, and Z. Like how I said, our prophecies are different. So you got to wait on God to reveal that to you. So don't allow the enemy to have you wrapped up looking at, how things look right now, because it's going to change. I don't know if you saw that post I put up this morning on the community tab, the YouTube community tab, but I said God sees you married. This is why He's instructing you. This is why He's telling you be loyal. This is why He's telling you forgive your person. This is why He's telling you stay faithful. Prepare. He already see you as married. We just got to come into agreement with it. Okay? We just got to come into agreement with it. All right? So understand God is sending you ahead of the person. He needs you to get in a certain position, just like Joseph. He needed Joseph in Egypt, so he allowed his brothers to do that. He allowed them to, to respond to him that way because he needed Joseph over there in Egypt. And then here's the thing. God is so smart. He needed Joseph to get over there way before this famine hit, because Joseph still needed to go through some development. He still needed some, God still needed to mold and shape his character. Joseph is a leader, right? So he had to grow some more. He had to work that gift of dream interpretation. You see? So God is sending you ahead. He is requiring for you to do the work, not to punish you, not to put all this work on you, but He's getting you prepared for that position you are about to stand in. Okay? It's going to make sense when you get there. It's going to make sense, okay? So, just trust God. Don't look at what you see in the physical, because that's going to change. All right? That's going to change. All right? God is in control of everything. Put that in the chat. God is in control of everything. Okay? God knows exactly what He's doing. He knows exactly what He's doing. All we got to do is just stay obedient with God, stay in covenant with God, which means stay in agreement with what He is saying. Don't allow the enemy to come in and trick you by telling you or whispering these things in your ear. If they really liked you, they would have whatever. Okay, God is in control. They do like you. Your spouse do. They do. They love you. Okay, God is showing you this in your dreams and your vision. Okay, you just got to stay in agreement with God, believe it, because it's going to come to pass. All right. So prodigals are receiving a full prophecy from God. Like how I said, you have to wait until that full prophecy is revealed to your person. And you would have a sense of when this is happening, because that's when you are going to get that full prophecy. Okay. That's when, well, I'll take that back, because I kind of had I kind of was able to see this thing, real quickly within the first year, right? But what I was missing, I will admit to this, I didn't see the full prophecy concerning my calling. You see, so I was missing that part. But when God revealed the full prophecy concerning the calling that's on your life, why He's joining you together with this person, why He allowed this and that to happen, you're going to understand. Okay, it's going to make sense to you, and you're going to have all the clarity you need. It should cause your heart to soften, okay? Because you're going to see the bigger picture. And while you are getting that full revelation, that full prophecy, your person, God is bringing your person into that full prophecy as well. So, yes, your person will choose you. I need you to say that with me. My spouse will choose me. Say it with me. My spouse will choose. Let's make it personal. My husband will choose me. My wife will choose me. My husband coming home. My wife is coming home. My husband is coming to get his good thing. You better say it. Come on. Make it personal. They will choose you. they will see your value. They will come into knowing you are their God ordained what wife or husband. Okay? It's no doubt to it. Anyone come whisper in your ear, doubt if, kick them out, rebuke them to their face. We need bold believers in this hour. But you got to stand strong on this word. We have to understand the word. I was talking about this in a previous, I don't know if it was a video or a live, but I said revelation from God. When you read in the word of God and he give you revelation, it strengthens you. When he gave me this revelation, oh my God, I just felt so much strength. And I'm sure I'm strengthening you all right now just by giving you this word. So we got to stay in the word. We got to read this word so that we can grow in strength. You can't go through this process weak, doubting. No, you need strength. You need you need that ridiculous faith. Okay. Where the enemy say, I don't even know where they get that faith from. That's the type of faith you need. And we're going to get that by spending time in this word. Okay. So don't allow anyone to get in your ear and tell you this isn't God. It's not going to happen. They love whatever. It's ending in marriage. Your husband is coming to get his queen. You better get ready. Your wife, she will respect you. She will love you. She will support you. You better recognize. Get in position. Get in position. Okay. So that is it. That is it. That is the word. Prodigals are receiving the full prophecy from God. Again, for those of you who jumped on this live a little later, um, in our Wife Academy, which is kicking off the end of this month, God has added on 2 additional classes I will be teaching. The first class is on submission. So you will learn the order of submission and how to submit to your husband as to the Lord. And then he also added on reconciliation, how to minister reconciliation to your spouse. Okay. So if this is something you want to learn, all about reconciliation, how to, what that process is like, how you get yourself ready for that reconciliation with your spouse, go ahead and sign up to Wife Academy by headed over to godordainedmarriages.com/wife. The link will be in the description area. Okay. And that is it. Okay, that is it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all have your day. All right. Um, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all have your day today. So you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all later. Take care.